You're watching TV9 Digital. I am Adarsh Vepachedu. There is something happening in the Indian Ocean. A Chinese government survey ship called the Xiang Yang Hong 03 is currently operating in the Indian Ocean. So, what is it doing? Well, the ship is carrying out a search pattern west of Sumatra. Well, that is already suspicious. What rings alarm bells is that it is this very ship that was accused of running dark or operating without broadcasting its position last week in Indonesian territorial waters. Now, it is also suspected that this ship is operating underwater gliders in the Indian Ocean to map the seabed. So, what could China be up to? While it is being reported that this ship and the underwater gliders were employed to gather oceanography data, the truth seems to be far from that. The ship and the drones, in all likelihood, are making observations for naval intelligence purposes. So, how dangerous could this move be? What is the motive of China? And more importantly, how can India respond to such moves? I had a small chat with Navy Admiral Shekhar Sinha to find out more about what is going on. And here's what he had to say. Many thanks, Admiral, for joining us on this special broadcast. The Chinese seem to be somehow very interested in the Eastern Indian Ocean region to expand their footprint. That's what it looks like. Could the Xiang Yang Hong ship, armed with these underwater drones, be gathering information for submarine warfare? Because from the outset, that's what it really looks like. What is your take?
Well, thank you for getting me on this chat. Uh, Adarsh, the Chinese have these what is called the oceanic research vessels,
Right.
but they are basically intelligence gathering ships.
Mm-hmm.
Under the name of or under the cover of we are doing a survey, underwater survey of seabed resources, which may be legally correct. So it may be in their own area to do this survey because other countries cannot do it.
Mm-hmm.
What they actually do, they can have the drones on board, those glider drone that you were talking about,
Yes.
and they are quite autonomous bodies. They're self-propelled, and they are already pre-programmed, and they can come back to from where they were launched.
Mm-hmm.
And these drones, underwater drones, what they do is there are two, three things. They measure the hydrological data.
Mm-hmm.
The density of water, the salinity of water, the temperature and pressure of water. What these some of the figures I have given you. These figures actually go about deciding or go about making a good profile of the temperature as to at what stage, up to what stage, what depth the temperature is steady, and
Mm-hmm.
below that it takes a bend. Either it goes straight or it takes a bend. So
Okay.
that is called the layer. So in the layer, the submarines are most likely to get detected, and
Okay.
therefore they will always like to operate below the layer. And
Mm-hmm.
once they go to the depth, depending upon the temperature profile, they can sit in the bottom and they cannot get detected because the sonar ranges will be of the ships. The sonar ranges will be very very low.
Okay.
Sonar ranges get affected by the temperature, others, and therefore this is an important profile for both, for getting the temperature profile for their submarine operation and also anti-submarine warfare as to what parameters should be set in the torpedo so that
Mm-hmm.
it can have a free run and not
Mm-hmm.
get detected by the ship on which the torpedo has been fired.
You were also mentioning United States, Admiral. Now, another school of thought is that this particular survey ship, once again, is trying to locate the U.S. Navy's reputed fish hook sensor networks. These are sensor networks that are designed to track Chinese submarines entering the Indian Ocean. How crucial is it for China to really weed out these sensors from under the ocean?
Well, it is very important because if you see China's trade,
Hmm.
particularly to do with energy, most of the energy comes through the Indian Ocean. Others,
Yes.
about 60 to 70% of their oil, hydrocarbon, comes from the Gulf, and
Hmm.
rest 20%, 10% they sort of do it themselves, and some of it comes from the Latin American countries, and some of them come from the African countries. For
Hmm.
example, Tanzania or maybe Somalia, they have fair amount of crude sort of reserve. So all of them, others, they will have to travel through one of these choke points, either the
Right.
Straits of Malacca or the Lombok Strait or the
No,
Sunda
no,
Strait.
this movement is okay as long as it is as long as it is legal, but only when it is done illegally, it becomes a problem, doesn't it?
Yeah, but there is nothing illegal about trying to find out in international water what lies on the seabed, unless the American Navy or Americans make a statement that any damaged, yes, firstly, nobody owns up that you have underwater sensor. Otherwise, it will be revealed.
Correct.
So neither will America own up, but any damage to it, if China does a damage, that will allow the submarines to go undetected from these three straits that I mentioned about. And also in the Red Sea, if you go through Gulf of Aden, what is called Babele Mandab, if you go through that area into the Red Sea, through the Suez Canal, then you are into Mediterranean and you are become threat to Europe and part of Africa. So it's a global reach, it's a global restrictions or oppositions that China is trying to remove in order to get better of the US. But
Okay.
US has many friends, it has allies,
True.
and it's not going to be all that easy. And anytime they damage something, they will come to know immediately because I'm sure they have got some control stations in Singapore. They must be having some in Indonesia. They must be having some in Japan. As you know, that the Seventh Fleet stays in Okinawa most of the time.
True, true. So we'll have to wait and see as to how all of these elements, diplomacy, tough diplomacy at that, and technological prowess, and obviously how we maintain our relations with those around us, how all of these elements really come and impact how we deal with countries like China and Pakistan. Many thanks, Admiral, for joining us and for sharing with us your insights on what China may be up to at this point in time. Many thanks indeed.